Good morning. Good morning on this Thoughtful Tuesday. I hope everyone had a great Memorial holiday and you remembered those who gave their lives for us. And good morning, Erica. And also remembering those who are serving right now. We thank you so much for your service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was just remembering my father who served in World War II. He's gone on now with the Lord, but he took pride in his service and he served over in Germany. So I'm just really grateful for those who serve, those who are continuing to serve, and thankful that you've given your lives for our country. And also, yesterday they observed what they included in the war at this time on the war lines. They included the essential workers as well as the first line. Those are who are the first liners, our nurses and our doctors who are getting our people through the pandemic. So I just also want to be grateful and thankful for their service and what they're doing out there. I know sometimes it can be frustrating for us in dealing with this. Good morning, Nader. However, I'm just want us to think about those who are giving of themselves and who are putting their lives in risk constantly. Good morning, Cousin Richie. So today, what I wanted to just talk about, and I asked a question last night, not sure if you guys saw it, but I asked a question, good morning, Angela, about is it time to stop goal setting? But let me just step back for a minute because I can't assume that everybody know me. My name is Regina Hall. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach, as well as an author. And my superpower and passion is to really assist women, particularly women, but also others can gain knowledge in journeying in their self-acceptance, personal authenticity, as well as living out their authenticity and impacting the lives of others through personal growth and leadership. Now, some of you may feel that leadership, well, I'm not really a leader. But what we fail to recognize is that everybody is a leader. Isn't that something? Everybody. A sibling is a leader. Parents are leaders. We are leaders in our community. You know, how we treat our neighbors. And good morning, Murray. And leadership is really about influence. Personal growth and leadership goes hand in hand. And personal growth is really important. Oftentimes we think of growth as having a destination, and it doesn't. Growth is continuous. And in order for us to really grow and to become the people we say we want to be, we really have to constantly be in that state of being, of becoming. And so that's important to me. I've been sharing with everyone how it's important for me that I grow, and it's important for me that I add value. So today I wanted us to look at growth consciousness versus goal consciousness. Now, we all know that I reached my 30 days, which was so exciting to do that on this past Saturday on May the 23rd. And that is really the end of what I said. However, when you think about being growth conscious, we have to look at it from a different perspective. And I just want to share that right now. So growth consciousness versus goal consciousness. I'm going to start with goal. So goal focus on the destination, right? I shared that I had reached my destination and that was exciting. But there were other things that were playing out for me that I really didn't share. Like I was developing myself in consistency. That was important. Commitment. I wanted to make sure that I was living out my values of what I say that I want or who I say I want to be in my life. Those two were very important to me, as well as valuing growth and adding value. All of that was important. So how did I do? Well, on consistency, I felt like I was showing up and I was being consistent in that. But there were some other things that I wanted to do throughout. I wanted to make sure I was journaling. I wanted to make sure that I was preparing my lessons earlier than what I was doing. Those things I see where I can improve. But working on myself is so important and making sure I'm doing that. Now, what were some of my wins? Definitely reaching the goal, definitely showing up, definitely being committed. Those were my wins, and they were molding me and shaping me in the person that I believe I wanted to come. So that was my growth aspect of it. Goal consciousness, it motivates me and it motivates others. Yeah, that's what it does. It can motivate you. And it can motivate others. When others see that you're putting in the work and you're doing it, it motivates others to want to join and start working on themselves. But remember, it has a destination. But growth setting, it matures people. It matures me. It matures other people, because you begin to see the other nuggets that you're gaining and what you want to do with your life. I say hello to my cousin Richie, but he has a restaurant in Flint. And unbeknownst to us, I knew that my cousin Richie loved to cook, but unbeknownst to me, I should say, maybe other family members knew it. I didn't know that my cousin was desiring to become a chef. And he is really a great chef, and he has his restaurant in Flint. But I think about all the work that he had to go through, all the training, and then turning around and making it a business, and him and his wife coming together and making it a business for themselves. That was really powerful. And I've always thought good of my cousin and going after what he wanted. That was a motivation. But also watching him mature through his business and watching how his meals matured, and when he would do weddings and taste his food, and from one when he first begun to where he ended up at, and I'm sure he's much better now. I haven't had the opportunity to really taste his food, but I watched him grow. You know, even though some of that growth was from afar, I watched my cousin grow. And so I'm so proud of him, and I'll let him put in the chat what his restaurant is called. But at the same time, good morning, Nader. He grew that and he believed in himself, him and his wife, Michelle. Goal consciousness, it's seasonal. You can set it and it's over with. Whereas growth is lifetime. You're committed to it for a lifetime. You know, oftentimes when I thought about growth in the beginning, I thought about it from when you go to school, right? You go to school, you matriculate from elementary to junior high to high school, and then you can go on to college. But during that time, you have structure in your life. Teachers are telling you what to do. There's principles that we have to abide by in order to even be a part of the school system. There are things that they provide us and we do. We're told what to do. But when you get older, that is not the case. You're not told what to do. When I went to college, I can do what I want to do. I can go or not go. So we are really given a mindset that we're going to continue on that way, and you don't. You really have to take control of your life and grow it yourself. But you can really think of growth as having a finish line. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm done with college. I'm done with my getting my graduate degree. Done. Books put away. Don't need you anymore. That's the attitude oftentimes, but that's not really true. And I believe I also shared how we can look at life as being a part of hard knocks. Well, I learned from the life of hard knocks. You might have, but that's pretty random. That's really not preparing. That's just randomly experiencing life. So with growth consciousness, you mature. With growth consciousness, it becomes a lifetime journey. So you're on a journey. But on a goal consciousness, you're not on a journey. You're not. It has a destination. That's it. When you really challenge yourself with goals, you're challenging yourself. I challenged myself for those 30 days. But when we have a growth consciousness, we change ourselves. We are looking to change ourselves within our growth. We're looking to go from one situation and continue to build up on it. But not so much with goal consciousness. You don't have to continue to grow. Okay? I mean, that's really true. You set that goal and it could be it. It challenged you. So grateful for the challenge. Boom, it. Okay? Also, those when you think about growth consciousness, wait for growth to come. It waits for growth to come. With goal consciousness, it takes the lead. With growth consciousness, it takes the lead. It takes responsibility for the growth. I know for me, when I began to understand goal consciousness versus growth consciousness, I have to admit I was waiting for others to do it for me. I really did think it was just going to come. I didn't see life as being that hard. In my mind, people who were succeeding, yes, they were putting forth work, but yeah, they were having some breaks to come to them. Not so true. It's not. Not so true. Really, you have to take responsibility for the things that you want to happen in your life. Then when you think about for goal consciousness, you learn only through your mistakes. Goal consciousness, you learn through mistakes, which is not bad. But when you think about growth consciousness, you're being intentional. So before the mistake happens, you already know. You've taken inventory of yourself. That takes work right there. I know for me, we say, well, you learn from your mistakes. But, you get into a relationship, you think about what that person you were dating and what was going on. Well, you know what? I won't date that type of person anymore. Unfortunately, what ends up happening, you do. Because you really haven't taken inventory. And let me speak for me. I know I have. Because I didn't really take inventory of what was going on. So I found myself in the same situation over and over and over, which is discouraging because you find yourself and then you start wondering what's wrong with you. Yep. It's because what you were looking at instead of looking at how you needed to grow through the process. We think of our lives as just in that moment and how we allowed ourselves to be impacted. And we look at maybe the mistakes. Yeah, I'm going to learn from the mistakes, but we don't really think about how we need to prepare ourselves. Learn before we even make the mistakes. I know when my daughter was growing up, I would try to tell her some things, and you guys that are parents with me, you too were trying to tell your children some things. You didn't have to go down that road. And then they would easily say, well, you did it. You did it. I mean, yeah. But I have really, really learned you don't have to repeat it. You can really grow from it. You can prepare for it. You can think about it. You can. And then goals consciousness depends on luck. You're throwing the dice. It depends on luck. Whereas when you really think about growth consciousness, it depends on hard work, attitude, effort. It relies on the hard work. That's what it does. So I want to encourage us in that. And I want to help us all to imagine, who do we want to be? Who do we say we want to be? And if you're waiting, and if you're trying, just saying, well, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to do this, I'm going to wait, or I'm not ready, then you have to ask yourself, are you really discounting yourself? Hey, Sandra, are you really discounting yourself? Are you looking at yourself in terms of merely making up excuses? Are we merely making up excuses for waiting to become the people we say we want to be? So who do you want to be? Who do I want to be? Do you want to be thinner? Do you want to be healthier? Do you want to have a better attitude towards people? Do you want to start your own business? Who do you want to be? That's important. Imagine that. Imagine who do you want to be. Start with the end result. Do you want to be, do you want to eat better? What is it that you want to be? Do you want to be smarter? Do you want to read more? What is it that you want for you? Think about the end result and look at where you are now and begin to close the gap. John Maxwell have this where he calls it the compound effect. He says that oftentimes people really don't stay committed because the small steps don't look significant. They give up. Step by step by step, there is growth, but because it doesn't look like it's growth, most people give up. That was a real aha moment for me because I was like, wow, we don't really appreciate the small steps, do we? We give up on, we diet, we give up. We give up on, we say we want to improve ourselves in certain areas, like having a better attitude about things or becoming committed to studying more. We give up because it's not in our mind producing the results that we want it to produce. And it actually is. You just can't see it. So believe in those small steps that you're taking or I'm taking or whoever taking now. Imagine where you want to be. Start with the end result. Think about where you are now and begin to close the gap. That's growth. And that's a lifetime. So I challenge us today. Join me as by becoming a part of my team. Join me. I asked you that before. Let me become a part of your team. Let me add value to you. Join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And in the message box, tell me what you're doing to work towards your growth consciousness and the goals that you're setting for yourself. And let's do it together. I'll be back on Thankful Thursday. Thanks so much for joining Morning Tea with Regina. And let's do this together. That's the challenge that I put out for us all. Let's do it together and make life happen. Have a great, thoughtful Tuesday. Take care now.